What's up, everybody? This video is going to be part one of your slide guitar technique, specifically covering slide guitar in standard tuning. So real quick, let's get started as far as slides, different slides you can use. Obviously there's glass, brass, there's some copper ones, there's some steel ones. My favorite, after all these years of figuring out slide guitar and spending hours and hours learning how to play slide, I found that this one in particular is my absolute favorite. It's super fast because it's a glass slide. It's not going to have as much grab as, say, a steel one or a brass slide, but it's super quick, it's pretty light, and I like it because it's still pretty thick. And a must for me is that it's really, really short. So I play on my pinky, so when I'm putting this slide on my pinky, the tip of my finger is still kind of poking out. And I like that because, as you can see, I can bend, as opposed to my pinky being completely straight with the slide, I can bend it in there and kind of grab onto it. So that allows me to play chords while still holding the slide and not worry about it falling off. And it still feels natural. That's just normal guitar playing right there, and I'm able to hold that slide. So with playing on the pinky, and obviously we're gonna go over different fingers that you guys can use it on, or I'll just go over it now. You can use your pinky, you can use your ring finger, and you can use your middle finger. I wouldn't recommend it because that's gonna kind of handcuff you to, all right, I'm only playing slide on this song, I can't really do anything else. I kind of feel the same way about the middle finger as well. So if you're really wanting to dig into my style of playing, I would highly recommend go ahead and learning on your pinky. And if you want to go as far as to getting the exact slide I use, you can find these on Sweetwater or at Guitar Center. The exact brand and model, it's the Dunlop 218 glass slide. So this is a great one. I love these. They're really hard to find, like if you accidentally drop them on stage, because they are clear. But anyway, that's really the only drawback that I have about these. They're incredible. The hardest thing to grasp about slide guitar playing is most people don't know that the actual slide playing with the slide up and down the fretboard is probably only 15 to 20% of the slide guitar playing technique. I would say that the other 75–80% is all going to be in the muting with both your right hand and your left hand. Muting is so important. It turns a slide lick that might sound like this. That's literally no muting into this. We're going to start with your left hand muting technique. So let's just say that you are using the slide on the pinky. This also works for the ring finger as well, but for the duration of the rest of this part one video, we're just going to be doing it on the pinky finger. Go ahead and just lay that slide across the 7th fret, which would be a D major triad, like that. And just kind of run the notes down with your pick, like that. No muting. Now do the same thing, but put your pointer finger and your ring finger, or your pointer finger and your middle finger softly pressing against the frets. You're not pressing down to where you can hear that. Try to press down on the strings just barely so it sounds like this. So now do the same thing. Do those individual notes. Again, all that's on the 7th fret. So now, as far as your right hand, let me get a little closer. As far as your right hand muting, your palm is going to be sometimes resting very, very lightly right above the saddle here. So it would sound like this. It's not going to be as hard as you would doing like palm mute chugs. It's just going to be very, very lightly there. And this next one with your middle finger and your ring finger on your right hand is definitely the most difficult. This is going to take some of you a lot longer than you think, but just keep practicing and you will get it. So as I'm running, let's go down to up. So on that 7th fret. So what you may not be seeing there is pay attention to what these two fingers are doing. So my pick is hitting the E string, and these two fingers are muting A and D. When I move pick to the A string, these two fingers are softly muting D and G. And then when I move to the D string, these two fingers are softly muting B or G and B. And then when I go to the G string, they're muting B and E. And then once I get to the B string, really the only one that's doing muting on the high E string is my middle finger. And then I'm not doing any muting when I'm on the high E string, because you can just easily pick it like that. So check out this exercise. Check it out. See? I kind of want to take a step back. So whatever finger you're going to be using your slide on, I want you to separate that finger from the rest of your hand, and I want you to do a B minor pentatonic scale up and down. So we're going to start like this on the high E string on the 10th fret and just run that B minor pentatonic scale down. So watch this. I'm basically going to be pretending like I'm playing slide. And then on the way up, pay attention to my right hand now. Watch what these two fingers are doing as far as muting. So now try the same exercise, but have your middle finger and your pointer finger doing the slight muting following the pinky finger. You can also hit that note there on the 5th fret on the A string, which with slide, I will get into the differences in the scales. So now let's look at accuracy over the frets. A great exercise for that is going to be one that seems very, very beginner-ish. But just trust me, if you guys just stick with it and do this exercise, your note accuracy is going to be spot on. So when you're playing slide, you're not going to be in the middle of the fret. You're going to be actually over the actual fret itself. So let's say that we are on the 12th fret here. When you're playing, you're pressing down in the middle. Obviously, you're not pressing on the fret. But with slide, to get the most accurate pitch, you are going to be directly over that fret. See, if I play down here, where my finger normally is, it's going to be a little flat. See? It's not quite there. So when you play slide, it has to be directly over the fret. So that same scale that you did without the slide with your pinky, this one, I want you to now put your slide on, play the note, mute the note before moving on the next note, play that note, mute that note, and move on to the next one. So watch this. And what I'm doing, I'm muting with these two fingers, mainly my middle finger. Once I get down, I'm stopping that note. I'm also choking that note with the pick again. Just like that. So we're not doing any sliding yet. We're just simply playing those notes and then muting them with the slide. And this is also going to help you get a feel for how hard you should be pressing down that slide, which is not hard at all. We're not pressing down on that fret at all. We're just lightly grazing it. So if you guys want to do this, that's a good exercise just to make sure to see how hard you need to be pressing. You're just gliding it along the string. If you were going too hard, you would hear the frets. See? So let's try the exercise again. Next up, we are going to look at some slide major triads. What this is going to do is open up the fretboard and kind of give you a starting point where you can be soloing in a major key with slide. The first one, as you can see on your tab, is on the D, G, and B string. All the triads are going to be on the D, G, and B. And why? That's because you can lay the slide over the whole 4th fret, as you can see there on the tab. And that's a chord, that's a B. Move up to the 5th fret, it's a C. And remember, have your mutes with these two fingers as well. And you can either hybrid pick it or you can just pick it like this. So we're on the 5th fret. And also you can practice the mutes with your right hand. Moving up to the D on the 7th fret. E, 9th fret. And again, I'm only playing these 3 strings. I'm not strumming it. We don't want to do that. I'm only playing these 3 strings. D, G, B. That's another reason why I like these short glass slides, because they're way more accurate as far as what strings you want to hit. Let's move up to the 10th fret, F. G, 12th fret. So think about it like this. That's a G. These are open. And then it's the same on the 12th fret. And moving up to A on the 14th fret. So we're going to get back to those major triads a little bit later in the video, but I want to move on to the next thing. Next up, we have a slide minor pentatonic scale. It's going to be a little bit different than your normal pentatonic scale because now we have a slide and we are going to utilize the scale in a way where you can slide up to notes easier, because doing this is kind of awkward. That's a lot of unnecessary movement. This scale is going to be the second thing that you see on your tab. It's the slide minor pentatonic scale with the example key of B minor. Check this out. Again. So now a little bit less muting. So that's on the way up. On the way down, it's going to be a little bit different. It's going to go like this. One more time. And check out that 7 slide to 9. The reason I'm doing that is because that last note is going to be on the 9th fret on the D string. And yeah, I could go, but we want it to sound like slide guitar, so it's going to go like this. And look, right when I get to that 9th fret, look, I'm already on the last note on that D string on the 9th fret. On the way down again. Let's run that up and down. Kind of same idea there on the way up as this. Next up, we have a different approach to running that scale down. It's going to be an alternate down scale to that minor pentatonic scale. So check it out. You're going to be on the 7th fret on the E string, and you're going to go 7, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, slide to 9 on the G string, and then end on the D string 9th fret. It goes like this. Up next is going to be your slide major scale. We're going to be in the key of E major for this. This scale is going to incorporate those triads that we looked at in a little bit earlier in the video. Go ahead and play your E major triad, which is on the 9th fret on the D, G, and B strings. Now play an E chord. Same thing. That's going to be your home base as far as soloing over an E major. And again, it works all up and down the fretboard. Here's a D. Let's say the song's in D major. C. F. G. And A. So the slide major scale walking up goes like this. It's going to be 9 sliding into 11 on the A string, 9 to 11 on the D string, 9 to 11 on the G string, and then when we get to the B string, it's going to go 9, 10, 12, and then landing on the E string on 12. Check this out. And once you guys get comfortable with that, playing the individual notes, you can pick the first note and then slide into the second on each string like this. I'll do it real slow. Obviously, you're not going to want to slide into every note. It's going to be stylistic. There's definitely better notes to slide into. For instance, if I was doing this scale starting off a solo, I would go something like that. So you guys will come up with your own personal styles as far as what notes that you like to slide into, what notes that you may not like to slide into. It's just going to come down to doing it a lot and practicing. Let's look at that same slide major scale, but how it goes down. So down, it's going to go 12 on the E string to 11 on the E string, and then you're going to slide 12 to 14 and back to 12 on the B string. That goes like this. And then after that 12 on the B string, it's going to go down to 10 and 9. And then slide 9 to 11, back to 9. Let's see what we have so far. This is probably the most difficult thing that we've gone over so far. After that, we're going to do the same thing on the D string. And then slide 9 to 11 on the A string. Let's check out that. Let's hit that slide major scale up and down. All right, y'all, I hope that that is a good starting point for you. Obviously, it's going to take a lot of patience. It's going to take a lot of practice. Again, I can't stress enough the importance of the muting. So just pay attention to exactly what both my right and my left hands are doing, and just run those scales nice and slow. It's going to take some time. You don't even really need to be plugged in to be doing a lot of those muting practices, but when you're running the scales as far as accuracy and making sure that you're not hitting a lot of unwanted fret buzz or anything or extra string noise, you might want to be plugged in. As far as tones for slide, I would say start off with something a little bit more forgiving. What I mean by that is start off with something kind of with a lot of distortion, because if you're just playing clean, it's going to feel harder to get the sound and the feel of the slide playing. So I recommend, starting off with a slightly way more overdriven sound than you normally do, because that's going to give you a lot of extra compression. It's going to help you with sustain and getting the feel for sustaining these notes on the slide. So whenever the part 2 video comes out next month, we're going to be looking at taking everything that you've learned in this video and actually learning slide guitar licks. So I'm really excited for that. We're going to learn some cool ones. So I wanted to release this for you and then let you guys spend some good time with it for about a month before we move on to licks. I don't want to overload you because slide may be new to a lot of you. So thank you so much. You guys are great. Have fun with this one.